Oh, wait. Hey, hold on. We got action. Right about now, I say we got some action. Hey, I'm just doing my job. So we got the latest report. Rather shocking to me, but hey, I'm just a YouTuber. Bill Haney, the father and trainer of Devin Haney, coming off the Ryan Garcia performance, was recently in the UK, and a host of a podcast asked Bill Haney, if it were up to you, what is a fantasy fight, excluding your son, that you would want to see for the year 2025? Because we're fresh in the year's January, people. And Bill said, excluding my son. And then the host said, yeah, whatever, including your son. Just a fantasy fight for 2025 that you would like to see, just as a pure fan of the sport. You will not believe the name that he mentioned for his son, Devin Haney. The Phenom, Jaron Boots Ennis at 147. I guess you kind of knew from the title and the thumbnail, but so I tried to surprise y'all, but y'all clearly knew. So we're going to get into that. I'm going to give my purest, truest thoughts per usual. But first, I'll let you hear it. Again, a lot of low-quality content in boxing, bloated intros, people not showing receipts, bad audio, cheap thumbnails, lacking video quality. Come to Boxing Ego. We got it all. Roll the clip.
Including Devin, that you would like to see just as a fan?
Excluding Devin?
Including him, fuck it.
Devin and Jaron Ennis.
What's the fantasy fight for 2025, excluding Devin, that you would like to see just as a fan?
Excluding Devin?
Including him, fuck it.
Devin and Jaron Ennis.
Wow. Devin and Jaron Ennis. So, to me, this is a bit shocking because, one, Devin hasn't fought at 147. I know this idea has been floated about him possibly moving up, but he hasn't actually made the plunge. Listen, on my channel, we cut out the fat. I'm steak and potatoes, like Floyd say. I give you my honest boxing opinion, and this, to me, would be a terrible fight anytime soon for Devin Haney. Now, why do I say that? So this is the graphic I made. Make sure you guys follow me on my social media. I am trying to get the page to 75,000, and with the help of you beautiful fans in this new year, God willing, we will achieve all our goals. Listen, I tell you guys again, there's a lot of low quality content. You guys can help the channel. Many ways to do that. Link in the description, affiliate links, follow, subscribe, share, all that good stuff so I could put out the illest content possible. I am a one-man army. Let's go, right? So I made this graphic. The fact that he's calling for this fight is, to me, insane because I don't say this often, but to me, this is just my opinion, there's no path to victory for Devin Haney versus Jaron Boots Ennis. So out of all of the different fights that you could have really said,
of good fathers,
you could have said any fight like, Fury, Joshua, or whatever people want to see, Canelo Benavidez or Canelo Benavidez Morrell winner, and you chose that fight out of like all the fantasy fights you want to see. I see no path to victory for Devin Haney. Jaron Boots Ennis is too good, too special, too big, more experience at the weight. And I know the Haneyacks are going to come in, oh, you're hating. Jaron looked beatable and hittable. Believe them or believe me, it don't really matter. I highly doubt this fight happens anytime soon. Other thing is Devin's coming off the heels of the Ryan Garcia fight where he was tortured and slaughtered by Ryan Garcia's left hook. If Ryan can hurt you at the weight, and then the Haneys and the Haney's complained about Ryan being 3.5 pounds over the 140 contract, which is unprofessional, but they signed to still fight him. Guess what? Boots ain't failed no drug test, and he's 7 pounds higher than 140. So, again, this is not like David Benavidez, David Morrell, where you might favor Benavidez, but you're like, Morrell can win here. Or Fury Usyk, where I pick Usyk, but, you know, I know Tyson is formidable. I legit see no path to victory for Devin versus Boots. So I don't know why Bill would even want this fight. And we don't even know how Devin will look versus anybody post Ryan Garcia, because you could have, you know, the PTSD. Devin Haney in interviews, he looks and sounds shaken up, like he's stuttering and stammering a bit and tripping over his words and things like that. Okay, why is he setting his son up? Yo, we don't need to see this. He gonna smoke Devin too. Easy of a fight. Oh, wow. So this is the fans responding. Yeah, right. See, so people don't believe it. Definitely a fantasy. Bill gonna get his son unalived. He really trying to unalive his son. Haney getting smoked brutally. That's what I'm saying. Again, make the fight. I don't care. But who needs enemies when you have a person like Bill Haney in your corner? That's a lot of pressure, because now the fans are going to want to see this. And for me, that's too difficult of a fight. And this shouldn't even be a conversation to me. But I'm not Devin's dad, his manager, or trainer, or in charge of his career. So by all means, fight Jaron Ennis. I would pay for it. I'll pay for the fight. But you know who I'm rocking with. I just told you. Jaron Boots is too good. Again, the Haneyacks are going to be like, oh, Boots, oh, Karen. Bro, Karen is a good fighter. He just don't have a big name. And he came correct in the rematch. And he was tricky. He had some pop. And he was very subtle with his shots. Devin's last performance, you're only in boxing as good as your last performance. Devin's last performance left a lot to be desired. Defense was leaky. Clearly he was hurt. He did show heart in getting back up. But I think Jaron Boots Ennis is still, like, you know, boxing fans are too emotional for me. I don't do my job and cover boxing based on emotion. So some people are like, oh, Jaron ducked against Virgil Ortiz. Like, none of that type of talk has anything to do with a matchup between Devin Haney. But again, by all means, if I'm lying, I'm flying. I highly doubt the fight happens, but please make the fight if that's what you want for your son and his career next. But we would rock with Boots right over here. I don't really see that being that challenging of a fight for Boots. But hey, I'm liable to be wrong. I would pay for the fight. I would support the fight. I guess in theory it's a good fight, but for me, I only see that ending one way, and that's my honest opinion. So I don't even understand why Bill is saying stuff. Like I said, the question was about a fantasy fight that you want to see. Devin had minimal power in previous divisions. How is he going to keep Boots off of him? This is a real question. Like, don't call me names and say, oh, I hate your channel. Oh, you're hating. I mean, you could do that, but then we know what that is. That's the lack of a sound argument. I'm talking boxing, so pay me that same courtesy. From a boxing perspective, if you favor Devin Haney over Jaron Boots Ennis, because clearly Boots is a big welter, so he can't move down to 140. He told you making 47 was already getting problematic for him and harder after his last fight with Karen in the rematch. So clearly he can't move up. If you favor Devin Haney and my read is so off, please explain from a boxing perspective, outside of emotions and fanboyism and being a man fan, how or what path to victory Devin would have at 147 or above versus Jaron Ennis. You had a tough fight with Lomachenko. He's not the biggest guy. You're talking about 47. Let me know. Subscribe.